All right. Hello, my friends. Let's talk about the full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus on October 28th. So eclipse season is always a bit powerful. There's a lot of energy that just gets swirling around so much. It's quite intense for a lot of people, this in-between period. And when we get to the eclipse, it's absolutely will be revealing to us Taurus qualities, which are what we value, what's important to us. How do we feel stable? Do you feel stable? The stability in the world. I mean, my God, there are so many things that are up in the air right now. But the things that we're seeing and we're recognizing for sure are helping us on a personal level to define what it is that is important to you, what you love, what you value, and what's important to you. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see the chart that I'm looking at. And while that's loading it up, Zoom is a little slow some days. Hopefully it loads up. I wanted to just direct you over to my website, DorothyMorganAstrologer.com, where you can sign up for the website, you can sign up for the newsletter, and even over on Patreon, there is a free option now, so you can go sign up there. And just so you know, first off, this goes into Patreon first, so you guys get it first. And then second, just so you know, I'm in more places than just YouTube, because that's where it goes second after Patreon gets it first. So thank you guys for your support, and YouTube folks, welcome, comment, hit that like button. Here's the full moon lunar eclipse. This is what it looks like in the astrology wheel for my latitude and longitude. You know, it's going to be in a different house placement depending on where you live and what time zone you're in. I won't talk about that, but I will talk about what it feels like to have the full moon in the sign of Taurus, and it's an eclipse. And you could tell it's an eclipse because these lunar nodes are really close, right? The new moon lunar eclipse that we had on October 14th was right here next to the South Node in Libra, 21 Libra. That one certainly did bring up and still bringing up and will continue to bring up. New moons are super important to pay attention to, by the way. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. In addition to this full moon. But boy, we initiate new things then. And even if we're not initiating something at a new moon, especially a new moon eclipse, we have, it's an opportunity where things are planted and seeds are planted. So make sure you journal how you're feeling in between from October 14th until we get to this full moon on October 28th. I will put this up early, obviously. So, whenever you listen to it, make notes while it's still fresh in your mind, what was going on that week of October 14th for you, just the week after. So you can, when we look back 18 months from now, we'll be able to see what was initiated. And that's important about what I'm going to talk about here today. And the written forecast is about a couple thousand words on the website, is very detailed. So you can go read that and get additional information there. So when we have this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, of course, full moons, gorgeous, beautiful. It's the blood moon. That way the shadow of the earth goes across it. It's a partial one, so it won't be completely closed off, but it's beautiful. And we have the energy of the moon in the sign of Taurus, the sign that it's exalted in, meaning it is its favorite place to be outside of its ruling sign of Cancer. So important. So when the moon is in the sign of Taurus, any month, we're always looking at what's stable, our food security, our money security, our material wealth, our material needs. However, being that this is an eclipse and the full moon as well, lunar eclipses are full moons. They are not separate things. Those qualities are amplified. And we really are being shown what it is that we love and value and is important to us. Now, this can just come through because those earthly matters, we just realize that we just need this or want this. However, the lack of having things and the fear of not having things can amplify, those can be amplified, and that is as valid as going and getting them. All right. So, and we can see that in the world. So, in the world, we can see where Taurus rules food and security and finances and how you feel secure, right? And we could see that in a lot of places in the world where people are not feeling very secure at all. Food is not available to people in the way that we have it available to us here in the United States. And again, not everybody even, right? It's those types of things that when we have a full moon, it brings those things to our attention. So we can look at local, global, national issues around insecurities around food, finances, and what you feel is secure. So I would say home too, because the moon represents our home and our caring and our nurturing, right? So all of these things are coming to a head, and it's really, really significant. It's incredibly, we're very much aware of what's going on there. So what you're drawn to do and what you're driven to do, how you're driven to serve or help others, the greater good, go ahead and do that. And now let's bring this back to what you and I can do, because I like to keep things on a personal level as well, because to me, astrology is to be used in everyday awareness. And so what this awareness of this full moon is showing us is that it's like, what do I love? What do I value? What's important to me? And how I want that to manifest in my own life, right? That's what it means the most to me. I have Taurus rising, so I understand this too. This eclipse is in my 12th house. That's not great. I don't like the eclipses in my 6th and 12th. That means, I've got things to focus on. We always have to dig deep when we have stuff going on in the 12th house. Just a personal side note. But hone in on your relationships and your physical needs, because that's some of the most important stuff that's going on when we look at this eclipse. Now, this eclipse also coincides with Mercury and Mars conjunct in Scorpio. So while the moon is over here nearing an opposition, Mars and Jupiter are in opposition here just a few minutes before this eclipse. This is intensity. There's a lot of intensity here around Scorpio qualities now. So the Scorpio qualities are what? It's like things coming to the surface. It's like the deepest things that we thought we had already addressed are still bubbling up. It's just like a cauldron that's just, all the muck is on the bottom, and somebody really gave it a big scrape and a stir, and now all the crap has come to the top. It really is like that. I know that sounds stupid. And if it wasn't public, I'd probably swear, because that's what's going on. A lot of crap is coming to the surface. A lot of things that were hidden and a lot of things we thought we had handled is coming to the surface. What does that look like in your own world? Is a really easy question. Have you been fooling yourself, or are you just on the final journey of, let's turn this into something more healing. Are you on a final journey of a healing process that you've been working on? Scorpio wants us to go deep. Scorpio wants us to feel those deep moments in life so we can transform them and evolve. And this full moon lunar eclipse brings that to our attention with the moon in Taurus around, again, our values, but the additional content is the Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, bringing that deep information, that psychological process, bringing it to the front, bringing it to the top. And the Jupiter in Taurus, the moon is just going to be conjunct Jupiter in Taurus just a few hours later after this. So that will amplify it right away. Let me get that exact time. That will be East Coast at 2:30 in the morning on the 29th. So that will bring that to the surface as well. And then we have, so hone in on that, take notes, write stuff down. And then I also want you to focus in on December 31st, because on December 31st, Jupiter, it's retrograde, right? He's still retrograde. And on December 31st, Jupiter will come back and make its connection to this position right there where this eclipse is. So that's on December 31st. And I'm just, I'm just going to double check, because for some reason my little brain is like, is that true? Yes, it is. It stops at 5 degrees. It's not the exact minute, but Jupiter will be at 5 degrees of Taurus, honestly, from December 16th. Where's my other book? From December 16th. This is the eclipse point, 5 degrees of Taurus. So from December 16th until, oh my goodness, change the page until January 15th, December 15th till January 15th. Jupiter will be at 5 degrees of Taurus. Now, it doesn't make it exactly to 5 degrees and 9 minutes like this eclipse is, but it is at 5 degrees. That is 1 degree. Within 1 degree of this eclipse, that is going to heighten what we're doing and paying attention to, the work we're processing, what we're being made aware of on October 28th. Jupiter is going to amplify that even more. So it's important. Don't skip this opportunity to do your own personal work. And if you're drawn to the humanitarian causes that there are plenty of out there, we're going to make a difference. Each one of us in our own way will make a difference. But if you need to hone in and focus on your own health and wellness and keep it personal for now, because sometimes the world is overwhelming. Not sometimes. Almost all the time, the world is overwhelming. So bring it back to what you need it to be on a personal level. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop my share. And there's more. There's more. I want to go over to the lunar gestation cycle now. Let me go grab those. Actually, so I need to share again. Let's do the share. Back to here. And it's this chart right here. So the lunar gestation cycle is a 3-year cycle. And when we have a full moon, that means we're halfway through. We're 18 months into it. And I have this all written out really specific, so you can check that out on the website. But the full moon lunar eclipse on October 28th is directly related to the new moon that we had on April 30th in 2022. And this was a solar eclipse. So we had a new moon solar eclipse, April 30th, 2022. I want you to go back and look at what was manifested. Right? Where did you begin? Just like the new moon on October 14th. That was only 2 weeks ago. But every new moon, we are initiating and beginning something, right? We're planting seeds. And even if we're not intentionally planting our own seeds, seeds are being planted through our focus and our thoughts and what we're, honing in on. So go back, look at what was going on April 30th, 2022, to see what it was that you had begun to manifest. What was it that you were honing in on that is Taurus related? It's related to the things that we're looking at now. It's related to this Taurus full moon. What's coming to a head? What do you value? What is your focus now? Your safety, your security, your material needs, relationships, things like that. All of those things were initiated April 2022, and now we're at the full moon. So it's going to bring us that right around the same area of the zodiac sign, same zodiac sign within 5 degrees of each other. 9 months after April 22nd, 9 months after April 30th, 2022 was the first quarter moon. And that was on January 28th, 2023. And that's at 8 degrees of Taurus. There it is. At this point, which was 9 months, lunar gestation, 9 months. Understood? Good. New moon, April 30th, 2022. 9 months later, January 28th, 2023. Moon square the sun, same area of the zodiac, right around those early degrees of Taurus. Here we're working hard. It's a struggle sometimes when we have the first quarter. That square is a struggle, but it's a struggle worth the effort. And then we come right back. 9 months later, we're at where we are today, October 28th, 2023, full moon, full awareness. 5 degrees of Taurus. They're all within 5 degrees of each other, these eclipses, this lunar gestation phase. 9 months from now, we'll have the last quarter. I'll talk about that in the weekly forecast for those of you on Patreon in tier 3. So what we got going on here is a whole cycle. I'm going to stop my share. A whole cycle that begins with every new moon goes to 9 months later, a quarter moon, 9 months later, full moon. And this one that we're talking about currently is part of a lunar gestation cycle that is eclipsy. It's full of eclipses, the new moon and the full moon. And this means this is incredibly significant, what you're honing in on, what you value, what is of value to you. I had just moved into this place. That's where my insecurity has been for such a long time, but I had just moved into where I live now. I've been here 18 months now, and I moved in just a month before that eclipse. But the point is like by the time I got to that eclipse, I kind of felt settled, and I felt like I could unpack everything, and I started putting things in the right place, and I felt like I was at home. And I'm here, and I haven't been secure in a home for a number of years just because of the housing crisis. I rent. So it's been a difficult journey, and I'm not alone, but that's just my story, because I value a really a comfortable home, just nice and simple. All I'm looking for, in a connection to nature, all Taurus qualities. And that is the simple way that we can use it, by looking at what is it, again, that you love, that you value, what makes you feel comfortable and secure. And then once you feel comfortable and secure, then you can go and look at what are the sensual things that you like, the really yummy foods, the really beautiful things around you. I have tons of rocks and crystals. You can see a bunch of them here. And that's my thing. So tell me below what you've done, what you like, how you're feeling, what you think about this lunar gestation cycle. And if you need the written word to see exactly what I mean, go ahead and read that forecast on the on my blog, on my website. And we'll go from there. And you guys, you know what? YouTube stinks. I've been on here since 2008. I have 14,000 followers. Thank you, every single one of you. And YouTube barely shows this to 500 people. It's outrageous. I don't think they like astrology very well. At least not my astrology. I don't know. I wonder what it is. It's curious. I'm curious. You can help by commenting below. Thank you so much. Blessings, everybody, and namaste.